What is good? It's your boy Damien here. Welcome to my channel. We like to talk about personal finance, self-improvement, just trying to be a well-rounded person, nice sphere. But today we're going to be talking about 5 books that I think definitely every entrepreneur should read. And then anyone who's into like self-development, self-growth should definitely read. But we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into the list. And here's number 1. So these aren't in any particular order, but if they were to be in some sort of order, not like a ranking system, but like maybe some starting point, I would say the first one would be The Art of Saying No. I mean, it sounds like one of those basic books. I mean, it kind of is, like the art of not giving an F and all that stuff. And I picked it up with that in mind, but at the same time, when I started reading it, I was like, this is kind of fire. Like, I don't struggle with saying no like that often, but like for the parts that I do and that are actually in the book, and giving you advice on like how to go about things, it's actually very useful, and it's a short read, so you're not like wasting a lot of time if you don't like it. But if you do like it, then you're actually getting a decent amount of value from it. Like, essentially the first part of it is talking about like people pleasing, why people please, and like the different levels to it. And then the second part is giving you advice on like specific scenarios or different ways you can say no, or like how to like grow that backbone. And like I said, when I first started reading, I was like, I don't really need this, but it actually does help. I'm not gonna lie. And I think it's a solid book because especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to be selfish with your time. And that's where this helps a lot, because you have to say no to people without having them be hurt. So it's a weird place to navigate sometimes, especially if it's someone that you're closer to. So this book helps you. It actually helped me. So there you go, book number 1. So book number 2 it's kind of beat up, I'm not gonna lie. I've had it for a minute. It's 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson, the first one. And I only say the first one because I haven't finished reading the second one. I've had it for a minute, but like it's long and it's hard to read the way he like talks about things. So it takes a lot of effort. And that's the only thing that I don't like about his writing. I can listen to him talk like all day and all night and all that good stuff, but his writing, it's tough. But anyway, for the first book, Jordan Peterson is more geared towards guys and all that, but I mean, you can still take the advice if you're a lady. It's basically just talking about, being a better person, setting your standards a certain way, cleaning up your room first before you can go and conquer the world. I mean, it's like basic, but it's not basic. Like, it's basically like hold your head up high, keep your shoulders back. Like, that's basic. But when you actually get into the book and you start doing the things that he suggests and all that stuff, you can see a proper change in your life. And then that shifts into everywhere in your life, like starting in your bedroom. Like he says, clean your bedroom and then you can go conquer the world. And it just kind of helps to be like some sort of guide in the chaos. Well, I mean, actually, literally one of the things that it says, it's like an antidote to chaos. Yeah, that's like the subheading. So if you want some like control in your life, or something to kind of guide you if you're a little lost, I mean, if you don't agree with his points, then it kind of doesn't make any sense. But if you're into Jordan Peterson, definitely a book you should read. And then the third book that we have on the docket is The Power of I Am by Joel Osteen. I know some people, like, just seeing this dude's face, it's gonna cheese some people, but the point of the book is very key, because I talk about mindset and like self-talk, and that is what it's about, the power of I am and the way you talk to yourself, because that is literally how you set up your entire life. If you have negative self-talk, your life is gonna be negative, everything is gonna suck. But if you talk to yourself positively, have these positive affirmations. I don't really do affirmations, but I kind of do, but not in like a super cheesy way. But yeah, you need to talk to yourself in a positive way. And this book helps you realize that if you don't already. I don't know why people don't realize that, but that's what this is for. Because I knew it, but even with reading the book, it still made me think a little deeper into the way I talk, still makes me focus a little bit more on my positive and negative talk, like which one I'm doing more throughout a day. And I mean, it's worth it. I promise. Just get past the author if you don't like him, because I know a decent amount of people don't like him, but it'll help you. Low-key does kind of bring some like peace to your life. I don't know if that really makes sense, but it definitely does boost your confidence the more you have a positive self-talk. Like for me, something I say very often is that I am the best player in the lobby, because I got it from Call of Duty, but like in life too, that's what I just say. The lobby is life, everyone in the world, and I just say I'm the best. And whether or not it's true, it doesn't matter, because I just feel goated and I feel like I can conquer anything. So get into it. Book number 4 is the Almanac by, I can't say his last name, but you see it. It's like it says a guide to wealth and happiness. What my boss actually recommended this to me when we were, cruising to pick up my whip. But basically, it focuses on what it says. It's a guide for wealth and happiness. So like the first part is about wealth and how you need to like have like a piece of a business or have your own business to be able to actually create financial freedom, and then how you want to like work less and get paid more. Getting paid for your thoughts and like the decisions that you make and like having a clear mind. And then for the happiness part, long story short, I'd rather you read it for yourself, but he talks about how a lot of happiness is like a choice and you have to like take steps towards that. It takes a lot of patience, perseverance. Like it's not just something you decide and it's just that. Like it's something you work towards and work on continuously. But honestly, it's a really good book. I actually listened to it on Audible before it even arrived from Amazon. I think it was like a 4-hour listen. So I was just super excited to get into it, and it definitely didn't let me down. So solid book, solid take. Number 4, get into it, read, develop, all that good stuff. And for book number 5, I know I didn't say it's in any specific order, but out of these books at least, I think I have to say that this is my favorite. I hate to say it, but it is. That's Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And let me tell you, I don't know if I could say this book was like life-changing, but at the same time, it kind of hit different from any other book I've probably read. So basically the book is talking about like outliers of society, like the people who become super successful and like what's the difference between them and us. I don't think it would be spoiling it to say, because that's the whole main point of the book, is that everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm super successful, self-made, I did it all on my own, but really, literally no one is. Like no one in the planet is self-made. Like sure, you put in all this work and you did all this grinding and you made it yourself, but at the same time, everyone has like these sort of circumstances that either make us successful or just another person. Like for example, from the book, he talks about Bill Gates and how Bill Gates had all these things lined up for him to be able to have so much time with computers and all this stuff to get to the level that he's at. And then he talks about this other genius who's smarter than basically anyone that we know. Like the IQ level is just super high, like Einstein and above, but he just didn't have the right things in his life. Like he was, I don't remember exact details, but just living in like a degenerate type of living environment. Like it just wasn't suited for someone to go super far in scholarship and all that stuff. But anyway, so like he didn't become the success that he should have been, even though he's super smart. And it just puts things into perspective. Like it's crazy. And it just like made me double down on what I keep saying of you can't do life alone, because everyone that is super successful have like, even if it's just like 1 or 2 key people, 1 or 2 key moments that just like happened to happen and then it propelled you into something else. Like it's crazy. You have to read the book. I don't know. Like it's also at the same time nothing super crazy, but low-key kind of life-changing. I don't know how else to put it, but you should definitely read Outliers. And damn, I sound like a fanboy, but this should make you want to read it more, because it's really fire, okay? Just get into it. Listen, so I know reading is not a strong suit for a lot of people. It isn't even a strong suit for me. Like I'd be reading, I'd be skipping words, skipping lines, and I have to go back and I'm like, what did I just read? And that's tough, I get it, but at the end of the day, it is something you should really try to get into. I mean, even doing Audible, like I said with the Almanac, I listened to it before it even came in the mail, and like I'm reading it again, obviously, because visuals and like different things that might be in the book, but like just figuring out different ways you can get into books and learn. Like I don't think you need to read like every single page of every book, because honestly, when I first started reading, like I was trying to start that little library, but then I like get halfway through a book and I just couldn't do it. And even now, I don't even read every single page of every book, because like example for the saying or the art of saying no, I don't have to read every page of that book because there's some things that I don't struggle with, so I don't need to read every page. Even though it's a short book, it's not gonna bring me the same value. So all I'm saying is if you're a bad reader or if you're just terrible at it and whatnot, it's not your vibe. Don't feel like you need to go and dive into like a 400-page book and read every page. I mean, if it's not a storybook, is it really necessary? I mean, unless like every chapter is congruent and like leads to something, that's the only reason why it makes sense to go cover to cover. But at the end of the day, don't get sucked into the fake deep of, yeah, I read every day and I'm like freaking crushing out 400-page books in a week and all that stuff. Just like go your own pace, but you should definitely read these books because they will help you. And I'm building my library, so you'll see more. But that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe like, comment, and even subscribe if you really liked it. If you really liked any of these books, actually. But until the next video, we're signing out.